If you don't have something nice to say nothing at all. Any comment that could be perceived as being negative does not belong in my comment section. If I said something or did something that upset you enough that would warrant you to take time to try to set me straight, PM me. I'll set it straight. Believe me, we can come to an agreement, because I compromise. I admit when I'm wrong. But people making, why don't you just, or dude, you realize you could just, yeah, I know, I could just get a credit card and go and buy everything new, but that's not what my channel's about. My channel is about kind of, hacking and recycling and making stuff on your own and finding a way around rather than just credit card debt. Okay? And if you have credit card debt, how dare you comment on anything on this channel? Okay? Why don't you just, I could just go get a credit card and buy everything new, but I don't. That's not what this channel is about. So, people leaving these type of negative comments, it puts this gloom, this cloud over when the light's on. And I know I'm being recorded, like right now, the blue lights are on. And it makes me not free. It makes me, it chokes my spirit. And then I'm not able to be myself and have the anecdotes, stories, and the jokes that make this fun for me too. So it's kind of a double-edged sword, because I started doing this really just to document what I did, and then people started liking what I did and making positive comments and saying they learned and used some of the information. So some videos are just me showing off the fruits of my work. Other ones I try to do more of a tutorial. And then I get negative comments that I talked too long or the tutorial was too long. If you're in a hurry, and like the number one ingredient of what you need if you're going to do this stuff, if you're going to have a hobby of electronics, or you're going to hack or build stuff, is patience. Every single project, if you think it's going to take 3 hours, it's going to take 30. That's the way it is for me. So maybe that's my own issues, but I do get done. I follow through, and there really hasn't been like a huge list of the one that got away. I've pretty much followed through and done everything that I set out to do. So I am politely suggesting to you that you consider how you treat other people when you're online, in the comment section, when you're going to make that nasty comment or something that could be perceived that I mean, there's a way to say, I agree with you, rather than putting yourself above that person and saying that you are a pro, a tech, an expert. Those types of people, you don't belong here. It's not for you, okay? If you're a successful cover band guy and you make $1,000 at every gig, and your studio's loaded of the latest thing by every manufacturer, and you've got the guys at the Guitar Center know you by name, and you've got roadies that load your stuff for you, why are you watching my stuff and commenting and saying, why don't you just do this, or my tube amp is better? Like, it's just kind of really pointless, because you're picking on someone who's at the bottom of the food chain, is what you're doing. So I am going to use this video link. I'm going to send this to people in the future, this video. I guess I'll make it unlisted, or do I list it? I don't know. It's just a suggestion of considering trying to make an attempt to keep it in your mind, to try to take the high road when you're online. Because human nature is not that. Human nature is to lash out and protect yourself, and to make that nasty comment or that nasty joke, or say, well, I just get my credit card out and, go and buy a new tube amp. Why would anyone want to go through that? Why? I remember I was in a Home Depot and I asked the guy where the grinding wheels were, because I had bought a motor. I was at a garage sale and they were like, everything's half price, we're shutting down. And they had this giant motor, and it was like it was $5 and I paid $2.50 for it. And the guy was all mad at me because that was the one thing he didn't really want to sell for $250, and I was like, no. She said half price, I'm buying it. And then I mounted that to a board with a switch box, put felt on the bottom of it, got a nice cable, I built it all up, and I just needed the grinding wheel. And I went to Home Depot to buy it, and I'm like, where would that be? And I asked the guy, and he's like, I don't know, but I think we have them. And then he called another guy. He was a white guy, older, skinny guy. And that guy came, and he was like, what do you need? And I said, I need a grinding wheel. What do you need that for? Well, I'm building my own grinder. And then he was like, why would you build your own grinder? And then he stopped, and he said, oh, you know what? I just remembered. I built my own grinder when I was young. And at that moment, murder is illegal. So this is what I'm trying to explain is it's our human nature is to kind of react like that. And I'm asking for you to give me a break and follow the path that I'm trying to consider, keeping that in my mind, that path of taking the high road and not coming off condescending or putting myself above people when I make a comment. And it's tricky. You'll have to catch yourself. Because I'm just going to flat out say it. There's no room for negativity in my comment section. So if I sent you this video link, it's for a reason. And I would only ask that instead of taking that natural reaction to lash out in anger at me like I did something wrong, that you consider the heart of this message and start trying to attempt to think about considering taking the high road when you're online. Okay? There's no room for negativity in my comment section.